Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew McGowan, and for my senior project, I focused on making a traditional Japanese instrument out of sustainable resources. But very quickly into my research, I realized that the instrument that I was making wasn't really a Japanese instrument as much as it was an Ainu instrument. So before I show you the tonkori, which is the instrument I made, I think it's important to share with you a little bit about the Ainu people. So the Ainu people are the indigenous people of Japan. They live in Hokkaido and in Sakhalin and the Kuril Islands, which are now part of Russia. They've lived there for over 100,000 years. It's a really long time. So the Ainu believed in having harmony with nature, and that is a very important theme in their music, as you will see eventually. And in this, we see a woman feeding a bear, which is part of an important Ainu ritual. So the Ainu, like Native Americans, were and are treated like lesser citizens. During the 1860s, many samurai clans came together and they started to push the Ainu further and further north. They would not allow the Ainu to be a separate, equal peoples. They were subjected to forced integration, and they tried to eliminate their culture. Some fell into slavery, but most found that they had no civil or social rights. So, like an Ainu person, I decided that I should create a tonkori out of sustainable resources, and I should make sure that all of this was in an Ainu style. So that includes a design, adding a soul, and creating it. So what do you think a tonkori looks like? I'll take 3 guesses from the crowd. Sam.
Sword.
That's a common one. Kumar. Okay.
Like a slightly very pointy cello.
A very pointy cello. Okay. That's a new one. Ron.
I thought a paddle.
A paddle? Okay. That's another one I haven't heard. You guys are good. Like, I haven't heard these ones before. So it's supposed to look like a woman. You can see the head and the eyes here, and the ears and belly button. So I decided that I should make the designs on my tonkori Ainu. So there are 3 basic Ainu designs, and I used all of them on my tonkori. The first one being moreu. Mo, it's 2 words. Mo means slowly, and deu means to turn, and I have it right here. It's a symbol of strength and power. Ayusi, I is arrow, and usi means to stab. I don't have it on my tonkori yet because this is still a work in progress, but it would be right here. It's supposed to represent thorns or brambles, and it's a talisman. Sik means eyes, but because it also looks like a star, it means to look on compassionately. So carving skill was often linked to the ability to trap and hunt very big game. Now, I do not have the mastery of carving that an Ainu person had, so I'm not going to become a great hunter yet. So the tonkori is not played, it is not a toy. The Ainu believed that the tonkori was a god, and one cannot play a god. Another important part of the tonkori is that a black marble is inserted, which represents its soul. Ooh, where is it? I have one in here. Can't hear it at the moment. But the marble that I used is one from a marble set that I had as a child. So all tonkori performances would only have one tonkori playing at a time. And they would often be incorporated with singing, dancing, and clapping. And now I will play my tonkori for you. So the first song that that you will hear is Toki to Randan. It is the most popular Ainu melody, and people describe it as a white swan or crane coming down to eat alpine leeks. Okay, and the second song that you will hear is called Ikere Sote. This is seen as a basic song, meaning that a lot of tonkori musicians know it, but it's really a fundamental song because the techniques used for this are used in so many other tonkori songs. So one day, I hope to be able to help my tonkori sing the same way that the famous musician Oki Kano does. He's actually the person who's been playing the music that you've been listening to thus far. Through this project, I have learned so much. I've learned basic wood carving and instrument making, and I've learned that the struggles that the Ainu people have gone through mimic some of the struggles that my ancestors have gone through. And I hope that by sharing my project with you, I have spread awareness about the Ainu people and their plight. And I really hope that you enjoyed the music. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu. Questions? Ava.
You mentioned earlier in the presentation about how the Ainu, with feeding the bears. Why is that significant to them?
Okay, so cool story. So there's a little graphic, so just be careful. The Ainu worshipped the mountain god because there was a huge mountain where they were, and the mountain god was represented by a bear. So every year they would go into the woods, they would take a bear cub, and they would raise it as one of their own, part of the tribe. And they had this big ceremony where everybody would be drinking and dancing and tonkoris would be playing, and they would sacrifice the bear to give back to the mountain god. Yes?
What type of wood and what type of strings do you use for your instrument, and from where were they sourced?
Okay, so the base wood right here is pine wood from Home Depot. And the wood here is oak for the pegs, and the wood for the head and the body here is cherry wood that my dad's friend had in his garage. He helped me make this. And I forget what wood this is, but this wood was just gonna be a scrap. So it was really me just recycling it. And the strings are made out of nylon. And I got that from a company that makes custom harp strings. Because it's really hard to find like 5-foot long strings. Yes.
What's the towel for?
So sometimes the strings will buzz, and what the towel here does, it helps it so that it doesn't buzz. And usually this wouldn't be an ugly looking rag like this. I'm actually doing this a disfavor, and I'm sorry about that. It would usually be a beautiful silken cloth instead of this, like this right here. But it didn't sound as good with that. Any other questions? Yes.
What was your favorite part of the project?
Favorite part of the project? I'd say probably playing it, because that was a manageable challenge. Like with building it, I had a lot of help from my dad's friend John, but with playing it, it was me and the instrument. It was just us two working together so that I could help it to sing. And I'm not a musical person. I mean, like, I've been in choir, but I'm just copying everybody else. But this is me just like going out and having to do that. And it was really difficult, but I think I did pretty well. Yes.
How long did it take you to build the instruments?
4 weekends, I believe. So here, I'll go back. So first we cut out part of it, cut out the top, and then we took a drill, and this drill used to have like a bigger bit on it, and we drilled down, and then I had to come in with a chisel and chisel that part out. And eventually we got it so that we could get a piece of cherry wood on it, and then we got the head on there. And then this is just a picture of me in my garage starting to cut out the Sikh symbol. Yes?
So it appears to be 5 notes. Do you know what each of those notes are tuned to? And are compositions solely based on those 5 notes? Or can you, as a player, like a guitar or stand-up bass, something like that, can you change the note as you play it?
It's in a pentatonic scale. And I don't know that much about music, but I remember he said that you can tune it any way that you want, as long as they're up by a fourth or a half. I don't remember exactly which one. So this can be tuned to a lot of different things. Any other questions? Mom!
The modern players,
Yeah.
they seem kind of like jazz musicians. They do their own.
Yeah, so Tongkori players they incorporate a lot of jazz elements in the fact that there was a lot of room for improvisation. So the melodies that I played for you, I actually gave them the tempo that they had. But you can play them faster, slower, you can add notes if you want to. Nothing is really written in stone, so there's a lot of room for improvisation. Any other questions? Yes?
So this is really interesting, so thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You know, so few Americans know anything about Ainu culture or history, and even in Japan,
There's
kind of a denier's sentiment about either they don't want to think about it, so they deny knowing anything about it. And so I suppose I'm interested in how did you come upon just your interest in Ainu culture, and was it the instrument first or the culture first that kind of caught you?
Oh, good question. So I believe it was 5th grade, I was on I came back to school, this was really early in the year, and my teacher said, I want you to go home and look up these people. They're called the Ainu. And we were studying Japan, and we were like, who are these people? I don't know them, they're not Japanese. But I didn't realize that at the time I was looking at the Ainu people, which were the indigenous people of Japan. So later, like this year actually, in my engineering class, which is run by Rusty, he said, all right guys, you're gonna make an instrument. And I was like, okay, I'll find one. And I found this, and I was immediately entranced by the beautiful carvings that each one of them had on them. And I was like, okay, this is it, I'm gonna do that. And I started doing a bit more research on the Ainu, and I found, wow, these people are like, they have a really cool culture, and their struggles, as I said, mimic some of the struggles that my ancestors went through. And I think that it's important that we recognize that they exist and that all their struggles aren't going in vain or something. Any other questions? Mr. Riza.
The language, Ainu language, are they still involved with their original language that they spoke, or is the language mixed with Japanese? I'm not familiar with that. Do you know anything about it?
I do know that some still speak their own language, but it's kind of like you know both Ainu and you both know Japanese. I think that just like how Japanese has it, they take some words from English because they don't have the words for it. I think that Ainu take some words from Japanese because they don't have those words. And the way that they write their language is in katakana, which is a style of Japanese for things that are outside of Japan.
And a follow-up question.
Cool.
Do you know anything about DNA analysis of where they came from, or they've really been there 100,000 years? That's an amazingly long time.
Yeah.
That's great to hear about that.
A YouTube video by a guy who has a PhD in history.
Very.
So he could have just been making stuff up, but I highly doubt it. Any other questions? Ron.
What was the marble for?
It's the soul of the god that is this tonkori.
And they give it like a name, or is it a more mystical?
I'm not sure if they give it a name. And actually, tonkori isn't the only thing that this instrument has been called. It's also been called donkori and I think it was mukuri or something like that. It's had like multiple names, but the person who coined it was a Frenchman who came and was also fascinated by Ainu culture. And he heard that this was called a tonkori from an Ainu person, and it just stuck. Any other questions? Kamar.
2 questions.
Cool.
So, first question is, does the marble have any purpose maybe in the music, or do they use the sound of the marble going back and forth in any of the music whatsoever?
No, they don't. But and it hasn't seemed to change anything really about the sound of the instrument, which I'm kind of happy about because I like how it sounds.
And then the second question is, it seems like a very precise thing in a process to build this. Were there any points where you may have messed up or almost messed up, and you might have felt like, oh, this might not be worth it, or almost want to go back? Or
All of the carving, I was really anxious about the carving, and I'm still kind of anxious about it because I don't think that I really did it justice, because this is such a beautiful instrument, and that my amateur carving did not do it justice, but it's a work in progress and I hope that it'll forgive me.